This week, we deal with weight transfer as this crashes in Daily Race A. Race B, somebody sends it on me as we're back at Monza. And in Daily Race C, it's Autopolis. And it's a bit of a crash at Turn 1. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide here in 2024 Week 12 and we're at my favourite circuit, or one of my favourite circuits. I love racing this track. It's Bluemoon Bay Speedway, but it's the Infield section. We're specifically at A and in reverse, which is kind of a unique track to be honest with you. What exactly are we doing here then? We're racing 5 laps, just a grid start with a false start check, sports hard tyres, and we're in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9. Now this car obviously is very new to the game. We used it in a time trial a few weeks ago, I want to say 2 weeks ago. We're back using it again in this race. Now, if you don't like this race is a very hard race to get right, really hard lap to get right. Then there are some timestamps there for you to click and go to race B or race C, which are interesting in their own right. However, highly advise you have fun on this track and highly advise you give it at least one go just to see what it's all about. So let's jump into the race and let's have a look exactly what happens. Right, here we go. Who's on the grid on this one? Arky is starting in pole position. You can check out them on YouTube. We're starting in P11, so we don't even have a full grid here as we get ready with traction control on 1. Handbrake being held as it's a grid start with that false start check. We're ready, and off we go. Quite a good start here. Somebody else with a jump start up ahead. That's Sonic, who goes to the right hand side. Good sportsmanship there to get out of the way very quickly. I know some people don't do that, but here we go then in the race. Right, a pretty good start here. Overtook quite a few cars. I think that's 3 I've overtaken as we head into turn number 1. Now this car and weight transfer is a big thing. Weight transfer has been a big subject lately as we go into this right-hander, and there's a bit of contact there. Somebody's gone full oversteer then as we go through that corner. We've lost out a little bit then, dropping down to P9 as we head towards the next turn. So I'm not too worried about that. That's going to happen into that corner. Hello, I nearly got rear-ended there. Wow, my word, Sonic, you nearly rear-ended me big and hard there as we continue on out of it. That sounds totally wrong. I apologize as we go into the left-hander. Right, okay, let's get on with the race, Tidge. Concentrate. Round the outside of Shelty we go then. We've got Radion UK up ahead. They're going to fall into the racing line then as we head towards this left-hander. And let's go hard on the brakes and in we go. We outbrake ourselves a little bit here. We tap Radion UK on the rear end. That's completely on me, completely my fault. So I'm going to wait for them to get back on circuit. And I'm not going to overtake them at all until at least start finish. Hello, Chicken Angel with 10 seconds of penalties. 10. We're going to have a look at that in the bloopers as to exactly what's happened there. But if any of you have already done this race, you know the Wolves really don't like you in this race. They really don't indeed. Right, we fast forward here. We're in P7 now. We've taken some penalties and we get the inside of Radion then. And we are up into P6 as we go onto the brakes here. And oh, hello, somebody is off up ahead. That's Blind Man off into the barrier. So we're up into P5. We'll have a look at that incident in the bloopers, which are at the end of this video. There should be timestamps down below. And I did fix them on last week's one. I apologize. I'll make sure they're right on this one as we continue on out of them. We're already in the next battle then for a podium place. Sonic on the outside. We're getting on the inside of Sonic then as we continue on through here. Now, I'm in second gear at the moment. I advise you don't go to second gear in this lap at all, to be honest with you. And you'll see why in the track guide, of course, as we continue on out of there. Sonic still on my outside here. I'm just sort of hovering on the inside. We go hard on the brakes then into this corner. We overslow the car. Sonic gives me a very wide berth there. And we are up into P4 with Handsome Frank up ahead then in a very nice liveried Evo. Now they're understeering a bit towards the barrier. So we're looking to try and get on the inside of them very quickly and see if we can catch up to the leaders. Dav and Arkies have just shot off into the distance there. 5 seconds up the road as we go through here. Then we are up into P3 on the podium here as we leave that corner, and we do keep that position. And let's advance a bit further on the final lap. We do catch up to Dav then in towards the left we go, trying to maintain that speed. We get very close to Dav, have to go on the brakes there just to slow up to not rear end Dav. Then in towards the right we go, just controlling the weight of this car, very close to the barrier, ultra closer, and Dav is on the outside. We're going on the inside line then in towards the final corner we go. Dav sends it round the outside, nails that corner beautifully. Well played by Dav then as we leave that corner. Can we get a run off there? Not quite here. We're going to be in the slipstream, but it's not going to be good enough here, and Arkies just steals my fastest lap at the end. Yes, I did notice that in the race, Arkies. Well played, mate. But we come home in P3 there. Not too bad of a race, but you see there the grid has really opened up by the times. It's a very hard race to do, this one. Really hard one to do. But it's also a little bit enjoyable. Let me tell you how to do a lap then. I will get my words out there. As you get to this first turn, you're looking for that billboard there, the bullet board. Okay, so you're just going to lift off and drop a gear. That's all you're doing here. It's not braking. Just lift off, drop a gear, chuck it in. Okay, so we'll go down to 5th gear. You can see where that is in terms of chase cam for you. So we'll drop a gear as we go into here. We're looking for the blue graphic there. We're going to try and accelerate a bit through there. If you do struggle with this, don't accelerate. Just roll through the corner. Now, we've got the Bluemoon Bay sign on the left-hand side around where the 100 board is. Now, you're braking just before you get to that. You can see I've just started braking right now. The car is going to want to oversteer. You're going to want one clean braking phase. Don't go on and off the brakes. That's why you will oversteer and crash. So if you do struggle with oversteer, just overlay a little bit. Overlaying is literally hard on the brakes, a little bit of throttle. It just forces understeer. Notice how much I cut of the track there. You can cut a lot into that corner, and that's what you're trying to do to really maximize all the width of the circuit and gain an advantage. Into this right-hander, then we're looking for the start of the curve there. We're braking literally on the start of the curve, and we'll drop into 3rd gear, not 2nd gear, okay? It's literally 3rd gear. The reason it's 3rd gear is there is a gear delay shift, and 3rd gear has a lot of pull there with that turbo, so it actually works wonders. It actually keeps the car a bit stable as well. 3 brake markers here. You can use the 50 board, the left arm co, or what I was doing, I was trying to get as close as I could to the Marshall box, which is the middle box. I just couldn't quite get there, so it's just before the Marshall box, but keep that in mind. Again, 3rd gear corner. Don't go to 2nd. May feel better in 2nd, but 3rd gear on the exit is so much better. Keep a very nice tight line, okay, and then accelerate out. You'll avoid understeer as well if you are in 3rd gear. You can breathe a little bit now, but you are coming up to one of the hardest corners on this circuit, this left-hander, okay? It's very easy to turn in way too early for this corner. Now, I've marked the 100 board here, but I want you to look at the tyre wall behind that. So you got the alarm coat and you got the grey tyre wall there. That's where you really want to brake. You want to turn in quite late for this one. If you turn in too early, you're going to run off the circuit on the exit with the way the corner is. Okay, so brake a little bit later, turn in a bit later, try and abuse all of the inside. You can get a track limit penalty for cutting too much of that inside, so do be careful. And as we come out of here, we're trying to get over towards the middle of the track to come back, and then we're just lifting off to get through this corner. Notice I lift off a little bit more there to avoid hitting the barrier. You can tap the barrier, but don't nuke it. You will get a penalty. Well, actually, no, you'll invalidate your lap in the time trial session. This final corner then, the billboards on the left-hand side, okay, they are your brake markers. You want to brake before you hit the dip on the corner. It'll just bounce the weight out a little bit, and obviously with the weight on the front, it'll stop the front bouncing up again. So that's what I do right here. Now, I'm trying to maintain 80 miles an hour. I just got dropped underneath it there, but if you can maintain 80, you're doing pretty good there. We leave the corner, use the camber of the circuit there to really exit the corner nicely, and we get a 1 minute 20.6. 119s are possible, but it'd be the very limit of the car, so do expect to maybe see 1 or 2 of those. We jump to race B then, where this is deja vu. Yes, quite literally. We're at Monza again in Group 3 cars. Yes, a repetitive week. I've never seen that before, I don't think. We're doing 5 laps. It's a rolling start. We're even on the same tyre. It's a racing hard tyre. Tyres want fuel and tyre wear. The only difference, you can tune the car a little bit more now, which I think is a bit frustrating, to be honest with you, to have the same race again 2 weeks in a row. It's a bit shorter though, so it does mean more carnage. Let's jump to the race. Let's have a look exactly how much carnage there really is. Right, here we go then. I've picked the Supra, of course, because that is the meta car here. We know that because of last week. And we've got a few more Supras in here as well as we head towards turn 1. Now, if you are enjoying this video, do give it a like. Do subscribe to the channel. Stay in touch with all the latest content. We are on this journey to 50k and we're getting ever closer. Right, to turn 1. We've got a few people ghosted here as we go into the left-hander. No real carnage there, but under the exit, unfortunately, there's a little bit there. And we actually gain not 1, not 2, but 3 places. And up ahead, there is more contact happening. Now, remember, if there's never really carnage in the first chicane, it's normally in the second chicane. Is that going to be the same right now? Okay, let's head towards it then. Let's get ready to go on the brakes and have a look in the distance. What's going to happen here then as we go into here? And it's not too bad, to be honest. Very slow on the exit there. I did try and lift off a bit too much there. Go towards the right-hand side to defend. I noticed Radion was still going there, so I tried to move left. But, yeah, it just ended up the way it was there. So apologies to Radion as we go through here. Now, Caesar's just hit the barrier then there as we're trying to sort of overtake and defend now. Very hard to do this as we go into the second Lesbo and continue on out of there. So not too bad in the grand scheme of it, but we'll see how the race continues as we look to catch up to Caesar then, who is struggling in this Supra. So I don't normally go for a move at Ascari, but you're going to see lots of moves at Ascari this week, with it being a 5-lap race. I thought I'd go for it here just because I could see they were struggling and they go a little bit deep there. Unfortunately, they stay on the track. Unfortunately for us, that is. Fortunately for them. You do get a lot of oversteer on the exit, though. So once again, we've got a run here. Let's fast forward this little bit because it's a drag race with the same car. And in towards the braking zone we go as we go into here. Slight tap with them. Nothing major that. That's not on anybody's fault, that, as we continue on through. So Caesar's going to maintain that position. Radion's still behind us then as we continue on out of there. They're going to go for the move, or are they going to bump draft us? That is the question you're all going to be asking this week when somebody is behind you. Let's have a look here then. And we get a bump draft. Woo! Thank you, mate. Thumbs up from me as we head towards turn number 1 then. I'm sort of looking where Caesar's going. I thought, okay, I'm going to send this now. As we go on the brakes then, we send it. Do we get it stopped? We do indeed. And we are through in terms of that position. Happy days indeed. We do get a push from Caesar on the exit though. Pushes us into the gravel. And another tap again as well. That was a bit frustrating. You can see my face change there. Just be like, come on, man. As we head towards the next corner then. Slight tap there under the brakes. In we go then. We do get round them here as we continue on through, just slowly through there. This is a good move actually by Caesar. Looking for that cutback. Probably could have done it there, but I don't know, maybe struggled with traction on exit as we go into Lesmo 1. Very tight there. Good race in there with Caesar as we continue on out of here and head up to the second Lesmo. It looks like we've got this done and dusted. Finally, we can start to look ahead, but we've lost a lot of time. And this is why this race is a bit frustrating. 5 laps of this race. Caesar actually looking to come back at me here at Ascari. 5 laps is not a lot of time to race. And if you start battling, you lose a lot of time. So people are going to be sending this absolutely everywhere this week. Absolutely everywhere. If they see a gap, they're going to send it. They really are. Speaking of which, we're going to head towards this right-hander, and Caesar's just going to absolutely send it from nowhere. I opened up the steering a little bit. We still get tapped there, frustratingly. It pulls us on the dirty part of the track, which spins us out there, unfortunately, as we continued on. Then you're probably going, Tidge, you could have lifted off and maybe saved it. Not really. The weight was already over that left rear. No matter what I did at that moment in time, the car was going to spin. So, unfortunately, down we go. I did say thank you to them, or well done. I can't remember one of the two in chat, because they didn't wait up. If you'd have waited up, it'd have been fine, but you didn't wait up, which is just frustrating, to be honest with you. That's quite bad driving. Or bad sportsmanship. Actually, it's both. Both of them there. As we continue on, then we're behind Arhusen, the Danish driver. In towards the next right we go. And, oh, they're very slow through there on that apex there. So, unfortunately, a bit of contact. Nothing much we could do there as we head towards Ascari. No damage though on either car, so we can continue into Ascari like nothing ever happened as we go into here. Now, it's a bit darker than the previous race here. A bit cloudy, but there's no weather there as we continue on out. We've got a big old run on the Danish driver then. Alongside we go. Are we going to get a position? It looks like we are. We are continuing to pull past them. We should do here. And there we go. We've got it. Are they going to send it though? No, they back out of that. So in we go. In P13. Unlucky for some. We've had a lucky race so far. Let's advance further on where we catch up to Caesar. Yes, hello Caesar. Even if you hit somebody off, you should wait for them. Not just expect a faster driver to catch up to you again. I'm not sure what you expected there. Anyway, you got a bit deep here, and we're going to carry on here. Through we go. Slight tap there. They just lose the rear end as we continue on. I realise that it may have been a mistake at the Parabolica, but even so, it's still pushing a car off. You should wait up there as bad sportsmanship. Right, in towards turn 1 we go. And we're catching Shelty very quickly. Looking straight line now, braking and avoid Shelty, which we do. Sorry, Shelty, to give you a big brown pants moment there, but hopefully you didn't make too much of a mess as we continue on. We've got a yellow flag up ahead. What's kicking off here? We've got somebody going very slow on the apex. That's a bit scary, but we are past that McLaren. I'll look at what happened to them in the bloopers, of course, as we head towards Ascari. We just catch up to Shelty then, as we just wait up through here. So Shelty in their Viper. Interesting choice as we go through here. Going to go towards that left-hand side. Continue on out of here. We've got Goat 46. I assume a Rossi reference, maybe? Not too sure. They're in the Peugeot Vision Gran Turismo car. So we're going to have some side-by-side action here as we head towards the final corner on the final lap. Who's getting that P9 then? In we go. Shelty sending it round the outside. What a move by Shelty. My word. I can't not remember that move in the slightest. Commentating over this now, but that is a move and a half. I remember doing this though. Going on the inside of everybody here, trying to get their position as we head towards the line. And I think we still finish in wherever we finished there. Way down the grid. Way down the grid. What's that? P9, P10, P11. P11, I think it is there. So you can have some good fun racing. There'll be a lot of sending, a lot of carnage there, so do be careful. Now, I'm going to show you this lap from the previous week, so it's a bit more sunny, but the markers stay the same. And we're in the Castrol Tom Supra, if you saw the graphic on the right-hand side. The 150 board is your brake marker for turn 1 in a Group 3 car. So in some cars, it's just after, like in the Subaru WRX, when I tried Beat the Meta, that is just after. Or in this car, it's actually at it, and in some cars, it's just before it. Depends how much speed you carry. Now, you want to cut quite a bit of the first part to then literally open the second part up, because the tighter you do it, the more oversteer you'll get. So just be careful on that first chicane. Right, we head towards the second chicane then, and a very easy market here. What we're looking for is either the 150 board, or if your car's got very good brakes, the red painted barrier, which is more of the middle box on the screen. Breaking in between those in most of the Group 3 cars, so pick and choose wisely. Now, it's all about how much of the track limits you can abuse here at Monza, so try and cut more of the first part if you can, making sure the sausage is in the middle of your car. Likewise for the second part, that gives you a good line on exit, and you can head towards Lesmo 1, happy that you're not going to get a penalty. Right, the 50 board here on the left-hand side is your brake marker for Lesmo 1. Nice and easy, and that's what I'm going to use here. Again, as I say, if your car's got really bad brakes, you're braking just before this. It's got good brakes, you're braking just after it, and you're hoping to try and get a nice line through the corner that you can see the darkened line there as we go into here. As we continue on, we're looking for that Marshall or the red or orange painted barrier. I can never tell on this screen or what colour that actually is, but you're looking for that or the exit road there. They are your accelerating markers for this corner. You really want to start accelerating early. What you'll find in some cars is you'll get a little bit of wheel spin. It'll just power the car around a bit better and actually give you more rotation, which is actually what you're after there, rather than the understeer, which we know exists in Gran Turismo. So on the right side there, you've got the end of the trees, sort of in between the gap, that is, on the right side. Alternatively, you got the 50 board, trying to get as close to that as possible. Now, you can mount the curb on the inside here if you're in an FR car. If you're in an MR car, you may find it just get a bit oversteery with that weight transition. So just be careful of that. Be careful of the slippy stuff on exit as we accelerate towards Ascari then. For Ascari, we are looking for the red or orange painted barrier, the exit road if you can, or if your car's got very good brakes, you can try and get as close to that 100 board as possible. More than likely though, if you're braking at that 100 board, you're going to go off at Ascari, so just use that as a bit of a buffer there, okay, between those two markers. Now when you come into Ascari, you want to cut the inside here. Be careful of the sausages on these curves. Some cars like them, some cars don't. Cut as much as you can on the left hand side to give you a nice run onto this back straight as we head towards the Parabolica. What we're looking for at the Parabolica is the 100 board, or alternatively, the lights on the right-hand side. Really good mark, this 100 board. As I've been saying throughout this lap guide, literally, if your car's got rubbish brakes, you're braking before this. If it's got very good brakes, you can brake after it. I like a tight line at the Parabolica. Some people like wider lines. I prefer a tighter line because I think it's just better for you. And what you're looking for here is that lamppost right there, okay? It's the second one in the corner. When you start seeing that, you really want to start accelerating. You should be able to make the corner at that point. There is an orange painted barrier a little bit further on in this corner. That is definitely a, you must be going 100% at this point. Otherwise, you've absolutely messed up this corner and the following lap as well. There you see it as we continue on out of there. But that is going to be a lap here in the Castrol Tom Supra GT 500. And it's a 48.0. I couldn't even get that on the Subaru WRX. So it shows you how good this lap was in this car. You can get 47s for sure. But we're going to skip that one now and go to Daily Race C, where we're at Autopolis, and we're in Group 4 machinery. As we see a TT and a Renault Megane trophy going side by side there, and we're behind them, getting the front row show. So make sure you stay for this race. It's 9 laps, it's a rolling start, racing medium tyres, and you do have to pit at least once. Times 4 fuel, times 5 tyre wear, and you can change the suspension, the differential, and the brake balance. Now I chose the Megane trophy, so if you want to use that car, do fire away with that one. It's a good choice, to be honest with you. Quite a few cars seem to be very competitive here, which is nice to see in terms of Group 4. Let's jump to the race then. Let's talk about strategy and the race itself. Right, here we go then. What's picked, or who's picked? What should I say? We've got McLarens in the top 3. We've got Scirocco in Shelty, Brave. I'm in the Megane trophy. Let's kick off this race then. If you do enjoy this video, if you are enjoying it, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. Stay in touch with all the latest content, guides, races, fun events. It's all there as we head towards turn 1 then. We're just trying to look for the brake mark here. Radion brakes and release the brakes and brakes again. Just gets it all sorts of wrong. Did try and take an avoiding action there, it looked like. Unfortunately, Bahamas did get a bit worse for wear from that, and we gained 2 positions. Thanks, mate. Right, okay, we get towards the end of lap 1 then, where everybody starts to get closer together because obviously rolling starts. We start miles away from each other. We've got, I wouldn't say it's Sean up ahead. They've just spelt it a bit differently. They're in the Alfa Romeo 4C. They're going in the pit. Let's talk about strategy a little bit here, okay? With the strategy, you could either pit and not change tyres, or you could change tyres. And in my opinion, it could be very close between the two, and it will depend on whether you want to be in fights or not fights, and what everybody else does. And I will explain that a bit more as we go through this video. But in my opinion, both strategies are viable, and it depends on the other people, which makes strategy really nice here, really nice indeed. Now, we know Autopolis is not good for overtaking. We've got Muscapi and Hodgson going really, really at it here then as we head in towards this right-hander. We're getting involved as well now on the inside of Hodgson. Just gives me enough room there. Really well played with that race as we continue on out there. Still side by side. Megane Trophy versus Megane Trophy as we head into this left-hander then. And we just breathe a sigh of calm then as everything stays the same then as we continue on through here. Interesting to see Muscapi in an Audi. front-wheel drive car, but we've got Shelty in a front-wheel drive car, currently P3 at the moment, as we look on the inside of Hudson and in towards the hairpin. Some sense will happen here. This is an overtaking spot at Autopolis as we continue on out of there. We get a good run on the exit then. Hudson still on the inside here, side by side. Very dangerous to do on this corner, but can we make it work? That is the question. In we go, still side by side. Beautiful racing. Look at this. I enjoy racing you, mate. I really do. As we continue on into this right, still there, still racing. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Really well played with that racing. As we advance to lap number 3 then, where we did get past Hodgson, and now we are catching up to Muscaffi, and the battle for P5 up ahead. We've got Norman in there, and we've got Hot Boy, was that? I can't actually tell. The screen's a bit smaller for me than it is for you. Muscaffi goes defensive then in that Audi TT as we head up to the hairpin. I'm going to try around the outside now. Again, this is the main overtaking spot at this track. That as well as turn number 1 as we continue on out of there. We're going to see how good this Megane Trophy is on accelerating now. That Audi literally being stood still. You see a little smile from me as we go into this right-hander though. And we're going to go in side by side once again. I just get it a bit wrong, to be honest with you. Giving Muscaffi a bit too much room, and Muscaffi takes full advantage of that and gets the place. Well played with that good defensive driving from Muscaffi as we continue on through these S's then and in towards this right-hander. Now, at this moment in time, I'm sort of debating, do I pit and not change tyres, or do I change tyres? Because I'm not really sure what I want to do here, to be honest with you. I sort of guessed the front-wheel drive cars are going to change their tyres. I did sort of assume that because it is quite high tyre wear here as we go into this right-hander, and that's what I was thinking. And it's depending on what people do up ahead. There's a bit of contact between that Ferrari and Renault. But as we continue on out of here, I notice everyone stays right, so I'm going to go left here then, and I'm going to go into the pits. Womble's going to follow me in then, in towards the left. Right we go, clip the curbs, and I'm actually going to change my tyres. So I thought, do you know what? If I want to overtake people here, I'm going to need a bit of grip. And I'm going to need grip so I can get later on the brakes and overtake people. Notice everybody else in front of me did not change tyres, apart from Shelty actually. Shelty did change tyres. Muscaffi, you can see here, has changed tyres, and we do have a lap of trying to wear the tyres in, so they're trying to build up temperature. So your first lap, your out lap, is pretty shocking. Now Sonic's been in the pits and changed tyres, and we're going to see that now. As you can see here, Sonic has come out of the pits, just come out of the pits now. We're going to see how bad the tyres are on that first lap. So this is where your debate comes in on what you want to do as well. So notice here, Sonic goes a bit deep into that right-hander then. We're going to go towards that left-hand side. Sonic keeping that position then as we continue on through here. I'm going to go hard on the brakes then, slowing the car down. So Sonic, again, defending this very nicely indeed, but you can see the struggle Sonic's having just trying to get these tyres up to temperature. It's really weird how, you know, we don't have warm tyres, but I'm thinking GT4 anyway, you don't warm your tyres up. I'm pretty sure they're cold even if you change tyres, so it's fair play as we continue on out of here. But I know GT3, Group 3 do suffer with this as well. We've got a good old run on Sonic here. We're looking down that inside a little bit there. We're going to go hard on the brakes, sending it down the inside once again. We've tried too many times to make moves here. Is it going to work this time then? As we continue out there, Sonic's got the run on the outside. We're on what's going to be the outside shortly, but Sonic backs out of this. Didn't have to back out at all, but thumbs up from me to say thank you there as we catch up to next pack. So, well, we know Womble did not change tyres. I'm assuming the Alpha did not change tyres because they pit on lap 1. They've got a penalty as well as Womble's looking to get that place in that Ford Mustang. We head down towards this right-hander then, and Hudson mustn't have changed tyres as well, so we're racing them earlier on. And look at this for a move. The Alpha just goes a bit too deep there. Other than the better tyres, goes for that cutback. You can see my facial reaction. I did enjoy that one, I've got to be honest with you. I did enjoy it indeed as we go into this right-hander then, slowing the car down. We've got Womble in the Ford Mustang up ahead. We're going to see the grip difference now between changing tyres and not changing tyres. And you can see there already we are catching very quickly through these corners. Remember, we've got dirty air in there as well. This Renault actually does suffer with dirty air compared to other cars, just with the way it is. It's got a lot of aero on it, hasn't it? As we continue on through here then, Womble suffers a bit of understeer, then continues on out of the corner, and we are right behind Womble then. We are in the slipstream. This Renault Megane Trophy pulling up to that Ford Mustang. We're going to go to that inside line then. We've actually got past a couple of people who are just in the pits as well. So we're going to head towards turn 1. We're going to send it down the inside. Do we get it stopped? We do indeed. This is a nice thing about fresh tyres. You can get by, but you've got to make the overtakes, which is interesting. Now, there was a lot of battling ahead of me when I went into the pit, so I knew I had to overtake somewhere. And as you see here, Hodgson didn't change tyres, just struggling to maintain the racing line there. Continues on out of here then. A couple of people in the pits, Bembo and Gasly, so they won't be changing their tyres here either. So we'll see where we are now as we start the final lap then. Hodgson up ahead then. Goes defensive in the Megane Trophy, both in the same car here, but you're going to see me try and outbrake Hodgson, and in towards turn 1 we go. Got that inside line. We continue on out of here. Just got a bit more grip, bit more traction, and that helps on the exit then. Look at the speed difference there. We just start pulling away from Hudson as we head towards this right-hander. Are we going to get it done here? Had a really, really, really good race with him. But do check him out on YouTube as well, Hodgson, of course, as we go into this left-hander, and we are finally ahead then. So we look to try and catch up to Bembo, who we know hasn't changed tyres, pitted when in the lead of the race as we continue on through here. And you're going to see now just how bad these tyres end up on that final lap. And Bembo's just struggling for grip on this final lap. You see my tyre wear, to be honest with you. Lap number 3, I would say, is the earliest if you're going to change tyres to pit. You can make it work towards the end. But even so, we've got into the podium here. Shelty did change tyres and does get the race victory in an FF car. Really well played to Shelty. But you're seeing the difference there in strategy. And that's what I love about this race, actually. Really, really thinking strategy, because you could change tyres, but everyone could change tyres and it's status quo. Then it'd be better not changing tyres. You could not change tyres and everybody not change tyres. Status quo. You could have not changed tyres, but you change tyres, you're in for a win. Or you could do the other and you're in for a win as well. It's interesting, isn't it? Right, head towards turn number 1 then. We're looking for the 100 board or the orange painted barrier on the left-hand side. Just to clarify here, because I forgot to put the graphic on, and you can see it right now, we're in the Toyota Supra. This is from the time trial that we have done previously, so the wind is different, but the brake markers are exactly the same, which is why we are using this track guide. Continue on out of that corner then, and what we're going to do is accelerate towards the end of Sector 1 and start Sector 2. What you're looking for as you start the Sector 2 then is on the left-hand side, you have that runoff or the exit road there on the left-hand side. That's your brake marker for this corner. Okay, now depending on the Group 4 car you pick, it'll depend on how close to this you're going to brake, or maybe even after it. However, that's my brake marker for this corner. Now, this whole sector is all about balancing the car and trying to maintain a good average speed. We're trying to get over towards the right-hand side. We dab the brakes a little bit for this left-hander, clip the curb. We're trying to clip the next curb as well and try and stay in the middle of the road if you can here for this hairpin. The more in the middle of the road you can, the better you can take this corner with a wider line. Now, the exit curb there, the end of it is your brake marker for this right-hander. As I say, the wider line you take, the more speed you can carry through, the better exit you'll get. And you will see that actually compromising on that left there before this hairpin can be beneficial. So do keep that in mind when you try it. Now, do take a tight line there and get an exit, a nice exit, or a nice-ish exit, should I say. And that's all about opening the steering very quickly. You will suffer with some power oversteer there. Heading towards this left-hander then, you've got the curb there. That is your marker to turn in. Now, in some cars, you are going to want to dab the brake a little bit. Other cars, you will want to just downshift just to get the rotation in. And others, you can just accelerate into it and then just change gear. Notice I just drop a gear here. I'm looking to clip the curb if I can. But what I'm actually really looking for is that marshal box, okay? As it starts to venture towards the center of the screen, that's when I'm going to start to accelerate. Now, I've started already to accelerate quite early here, but that's because I've got the line right. And if you get the line right, you can really benefit from that. So you can see there on chase cam whereabouts that is. I'm going to continue on through this corner. Trying to avoid running wide there. Very easy to clip the grass and spin out as we go towards the top of the hill then. As we venture up here, what we're looking for is on the right-hand side. Now, you got the arrow, and it's after the arrow in most cars, to be honest with you, in Group 4. And we're trying to get as close to the marshal box as we can. Now, interestingly, with this corner, you actually want a really tight line, but you want to take a wide into a really tight line if you can. It's very easy to go tight too early here and just have a terrible exit. So that's what I'm going to try and do here. But I take it a little bit too wide, in my opinion. I could take that tighter and actually benefit more from the exit. As you accelerate down the hill then, of course, you're firing down this hill. You really want to accelerate as early as possible. The quicker you accelerate, the more speed you'll build up very quickly. Now, as we get to the bottom of it, we're on the right-hand side. We're looking for that pole there, okay? That pole is a really good brake marker, okay? Now, as you turn into here, you actually want to use a lot of the curb on the inside. It will drag you around a little bit as well if you do clip it. If you don't clip it, you're going to struggle and you may understeer off. So just be careful of that as we continue on through here. The end of the curb on the left-hand side is your next marker. Similar to previous corners, you might want to just lift off here and drop a gear. Other cars, you will want to dab the brake and then turn in and then drop a gear. Will depend on the car with what you do there. I'm going to drop a gear in this one. No, I dab the brake a little bit there as well as I continue on through here. What we're looking for then is we're going to go towards the left-hand side using all the curb as much as we can. And as we go straight here, just stop it here, that's when I'm going to brake for this corner. Now, I find a tighter line is much quicker for this corner. I really do. Well, it was in the Renault Megane Trophy that I did this morning. You can follow that lap if you want to. I'd use no setup on it as well, so it might be helpful. But here, once again, you're just seeing it on chase cam. I'm going to try and keep a tight line, and I want to accelerate as early as possible. I can't even see the exit, and I'm trying to accelerate. Notice there, I'm going to go straight line over this curb, and then over towards the left-hand side. Slight lift there to clip the curb and continue the throttle. I don't really want to brake in that part of the circuit. As we get to this final corner, a tighter line, a slightly tighter line is actually a better line here in Group 4. You're not carrying as much speed as Group 3. Therefore, you just want to reduce the distance on the circuit. So I'm turning in already. I'm going to start applying the brakes here. Some cars you can just drop to a gear and be fine like I did there a little bit, but I'm dabbing the brakes. And what you're looking for on exit is that exit road there, okay? That is your accelerating marker. When you see that, just put your foot to the floor. You will make the corner, or you should make the corner. If you don't, you've done the corner wrong and you need to just rethink your approach. But when you see that, just accelerate, just boost it out, and that'll start the next lap as well with a good run off the corner. And you can cut a lot of this left-hander if you want to, but just be careful as the car does wiggle there. That can also happen with others as well. We get towards the end of the lap then. That's a 53.0. There's some faster conditions this week, so you will go faster than that lap. As we go into the bloopers then, turn 1, Flint just gets the weight transfer all wrong. 5-second penalty for hitting a wall this week. It's a bit brutal if I do say so myself. Now, Chicken Angel, we saw with 10 seconds. So they clip the first barrier. They just get putted from behind after that clip. There's no fault of Ransom Hank there. And they get 10 seconds of penalties. I don't think the crime meets the penalty there. Into this one we go. We just outbrake ourselves a teeny tiny bit and hit Radion. That deserves a penalty, of course, because Radion goes off the circuit, loses positions. I do wait up for them there because hopefully that shows you good sportsmanship. Right, Blind Man, we saw them going the wrong way here. What's happens there? In towards this right-hander we go. On the brakes, off the brakes, on the brakes again. That causes the weight transfer. They try and catch it, and into the barrier they go. Another 5-second penalty. Right, here we go with Shelty. Monza turn 1 then. You can see here, Arhus there just uses the ghost there to get in front. So Shelty unghosting instantly. There's the Supra there. Shelty might not even have seen the ghost there, and that's the reason for that contact. I'd argue that Shelty doesn't have to wait up there, so that's really good sportsmanship. Spanish driver here absolutely sends it into turn 1, hits the Italian up ahead. Obviously, it's just a mistake. You can see that. But now Ghosted's going to accelerate all through the cars and gain an advantage. So that penalty seems justified to me. Here's the send that we saw. And yeah, it's just a bit too much there. I can see what you were trying to do, but it was never going to work there, to be honest, in the same sort of car. You can see the rear end of my car had already gone at that moment in time. And I'd already gone there. You should have waited up after that one, in my opinion. Here we got Mr. Douglas then. Through the left we go. Going to hit the rear of Hodgson. There was some discussion about that. In my opinion, that is on Mr. Douglas. You should wait up on that incident because you've just hit them off the circuit. And we see Mr. John Nice just absolutely sent that through there. So coming through here then, there's a bit of contact between a couple of cars then. Hodgson in the action here. The McLaren gets a 2-second penalty. That seems very justified to me then because there was a lot of crashing going on there. As we continue towards the next chicane then, I'm assuming Hodgson's going to have a run on the King here. I didn't know the King was playing Gran Turismo, but there we go. Going into here then, the King trying to run them tight. That never works there. You're pushing somebody onto a grass. Hodgson catches it. Doesn't catch it. Oh, does catch it. Fair play. Actually, does gain a position there. So, yeah, they were just trying to run you a bit too tight there, and that's not really the best way to do that. In towards the right we go. And there's also still happening there. Let's go backwards then. Mr. John Nice. We did see that they were all over the place, didn't they? We're going very slow, actually, through Les Mode 2. Let's see what happens here then. The Bahamas on the inside of the King. Seemed fine to me with that move. As we head towards the next corner. What's going to happen here? Well, whoa, well, that's a big sending off. Round they go, and they go for a spin, and they're just trying to get off the racing line, I suspect there. So that's the end of that one. Here's Radion UK. We know what happened here then. So releases the brakes, goes on the brakes again, realizes they made the mistake. Tries to get out the way there, Bahamas. So that was really good sportsmanship. Unfortunately, just didn't get out the way in time. That's going to be it for this video though, folks. If you did like it, do give it a like. Do subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. But that is going to be it for me on this video. Now, if you want to see a beat the meta at Monza, we're racing Monza this week. Check out that video there. Otherwise, there's another video there to check out. Do give me a subscription if you did enjoy the content, please. And do check out my affiliate links down below if you're looking for a brand new wheel or a brand new rig. GT Amiga and Fanatec will help you out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video live stream again very soon.